Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'm so excited. We have some brand new guest speakers here with us today. So it's going to be exciting, new information, new energy, new everything. So I'm excited. I'm sure you are too. So for those of you who don't know, today we are actually talking about supercharged healing for yourself, another person, or animals with energetic stem cells. So I don't know about you, but I'm excited because, I have some stuff going on that maybe could use some, a tune-up, some fixing here and there. So we have today Lyon Zonamyari and Shelley Ackrill joining us here today for the first time. And if you don't know who they are, I'll just tell you a little bit about them. They're going to be working together on today's show to talk about healing and stem cells and, sometimes practically a whole new approach. So Lyon discovered at an early age that conforming with conventional was not his path. I mean, isn't that the way with all of us, right? We are so not conventional, was not his path. And he questioned his very existence when he was just 8 years old. And at age 10, he was experiencing premonitions. He wondered, what are we doing here? Where do we come from? And what is this thing called life all about? With no help, guidance, or information readily available at that time, long before the internet, Lyon became a rebel. Lost without a cause. Past lives and reincarnation fascinated Lyon for many years, and the more books he read on the subject, the more he became convinced it was a reality. And after a sequence of events, they prompted Lyon to discover his past, which led him to his first spiritual mentor, Paulette, who specialized in healing and regression techniques. And the incredibly advanced Paulette took Lyon way beyond past lives, and when Paulette cleared his third eye and activated dormant DNA strands, Lyon discovered he could remove somebody's headache by touch in a matter of seconds. Soon after, his second mentor, Diane, also at oracle level, advanced his learning of energy and vibration linked to healing. And Lyon's third mentor, a homeopathic intuitive doctor, Tito Palaccio, completed the circle of knowledge. The 3 steps to healing happiness and abundance is the accumulation of knowledge gleaned from his 3 mentors that has saved many people from surgery and saved others when surgery failed. And with day-to-day problems, it clears a pathway towards health, happiness, and abundance for anybody ready to change the way they live their life. I'm so excited about today. It's like this. It's just so fascinating to hear the short journey that we just heard right now, but I wonder what else we're going to hear today when we're talking to Lyon and Shelley. And so Shelley is an energy healer, a channel, and a spiritual counselor. And Shelley was born an empathic healer, specializing in energetic healing. And she's been a healer for many lifetimes and even suffered in Salem. And she knew at an early age her life was going to be different. Feeling the energy surrounding people made it hard to fit in. Today, she is guided to be of service to others, and Shelley has direct channeled communication with Spirit and Archangel Michael. Her powerful guided journeys into the Rocky Mountains at Lake Louise with Archangel Michael connected her with her given abilities to help those in need and ready for assistance. And Shelley tunes into your energy to help clear what is blocking you from better health. She's been channeling, healing, and transforming lives for over 25 years. And, even yesterday when we were talking, Shelley asked me, hey, is there something going on with your back? Is something going on with your shoulder? Like, what? So she was tuning in to me, even though we weren't having a session or anything, we were just chatting. And so she was able to tune in right away. And even Lyon had asked me the same thing when we talked a few weeks ago. So these guys are really intuitive and, they see, hear, feel, and can tune into you very easily. So we're going to get started in just a second. So I want to say welcome, first of all, to Lyon and Shelley.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
And I'm just going to ask everyone who, if you could just turn off your videos so that we can consume bandwidth. You can still hear and everything. And then when, if you'd like to ask a question later on, you can have your video on. But until then, can you just turn off your video? That would really help us out a lot. And if you do have questions, you can put your questions in the chat box, or you can raise your hand to ask a question when we get to that point where we're going to be taking questions, okay? So that would be really helpful for everybody today, because in some places the internet is not that great, as we all know. So me and Shelley and Lyon will keep our videos on. All right, so I'm so excited about today because this, is a stem cell energy healing is like, wow, what is that? And then, your 3-step process to healing, Lyon, is like, I like things that are easy and quick, like 3 steps. It doesn't have to be 50, right? So Lyon, can you just, let's start off with you first, but can you just talk a little bit about your journey, just because it's your first time on the show? And then can you just summarize in a few words what your healing program is all about?
Yeah, obviously my journey, you've already given the listeners a good part of it. I've been blessed with 3 incredible mentors who have taken me from just one level to the next, It's just been a fantastic journey. And it's actually when my second mentor, Diane, passed away at the end of 2015. When I say she passed away, she actually took an exit point. She had to go back home to join her higher self so that all of her energy could be intact within her higher self. She kind of works on what you call an intergalactic committee, and she's doing some very, very serious work back home. And actually, not that it's anything to really do with the healings, but I guess maybe it is, because homeopathic medicine talks about emotions and emotional stress. One of the first things she said to me when she got back, the first conversation we had, she said, "Oh, I thought you'd like to know that back here, back home, apart from not having the physical body and the 5 senses, we don't have emotions." She said, "We're all like Dr. Spock in Star Trek, very logical, but no emotions." Which made a lot of sense to me, because when you think about it, if you don't have emotions at all back home, if you come here and you have horrible, bad, wicked, horrible emotions, painful emotions, or if you have happy, sad, or wonderful, blissful, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. An emotion is an emotion. When you don't have any at all, you can't really differentiate between what's not good and what is good. At the end of the day, they are all good. So the first message I have for everybody is, even in your darkest hour, your darkest, deepest hour, that abyss that you might have fallen into, know that it is there for a reason. There are no accidents, and it's for you to climb your way back out again and get back onto the top of that tree. Because when you get back on the top of that tree, you'll go, "My God, I'm so glad I went through that horrific experience. It's made me a stronger, wiser, better person." And that, of course, reflects on your higher self, which is back home, because we don't send all of our energy to be in this physical body. So everything you do here resonates back home. I'm sorry I'm sidetracking a little. But yeah, wonderful journey, 3 incredible mentors. This 3-step healing program, this is actually the accumulation of the work of all my mentors combined. And especially when Diane passed, she said, "Hey, you've got to get this information out there and share it with other people. It's very, very powerful," which it is, which if people care to look at the free gift, which is there on your page, that has some incredible information, which is, lots of this work is backed by science as well. So read that. That's very powerful. That'll give you just a small little indication as to the direction that this healing system is all about. At the end of the day, what we have here on my behalf, because I am now kind of the healing teacher, Shelley is the healing practitioner. So don't worry, guys, we've got you covered all angles. So this really is like a weekend seminar, my 3-step healing program. Consider it to be a weekend seminar, but you don't have to travel off and book into a hotel and do all that kind of stuff. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. But it will take you a weekend, because this is a huge, massive file of years and years of work, accumulation of techniques that have been developed, not just by my mentors, but by their predecessors as well, because this information has been passed down generation to generation. So it's a seminar you can do in the comfort of your own home. And of course, it's not going to cost you $1,000 or $2,000 like some of these seminars do. It's going to cost you a fraction of that. It's a 3-step healing program. You can use it on yourself. You can use it on another person. You can use it on animals. You can even use it for a location, for an office, a place, a home. You don't have to have any previous experience because this is a fully instructional program. The great thing is, if you are already a healing practitioner, there's so much information within this program, you can take your existing practice to higher levels, as Shelley found out when we first met. So if you're a Reiki healer or a Theta healer, whatever it is you're doing, don't think, oh, well, this is not for me. Believe me, there's going to be a ton of stuff in this program that you can use, and you can continue using your existing programs, your Reiki or your Theta, whatever it is, and you can combine some of these 3 steps with what you're already doing. It's going to take your healing to another level. The program, it covers such a huge spectrum. I mean, we're talking about covering just simple emotional stress problems, bringing down your levels of stress. If you look through some of the testimonials that Alara kindly posted on the page, you'll see they do vary from panic attacks and how to use just a small part of this system to quickly place some cards on your body and read out some words to bring down your vibrational levels. You'll also see that using this system, I and other people who've used it on themselves have wiped out some pretty serious stuff. I'm talking about tumors, cancers, diabetes, hole in the heart conditions. I mean, there's quite a long list of testimonials there. So if when you're going through this show and you think, well, yeah, I think this might be something I could be interested in, look at the testimonials, because that'll give you an idea what other people have experienced by considering doing what you might be considering right now. The great thing with this program is it covers, like I said, such a huge spectrum. We're even talking about clearing out damage that's done by chemtrails, Wi-Fi, electromagnetic frequencies, radiation, dental procedures. It pulls all these negatives out. The system will also show you how to purify the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, the food that you eat. And boy, oh boy, that's just a little introduction. I mean, like I said, it will take you a full weekend just to go through the entire. Hearing someone talking in the background?
Yeah. I lost that. They muted themselves.
Okay, so it is a very, very comprehensive program, and it's packed with all sorts of tips, lots of videos and links where you can study even further and go even deeper, especially on the scientific side, which backs up a lot of this work that I've been doing for many, many years, and as I said, has been taught by my mentors. So that kind of gives you a little introduction as to what we're talking about here. And of course, I joined forces with Shelley, and I'm now doing more of the teaching side, and she is doing the one-on-one healing. So like I said, whichever way it is, whether you're wanting to get into healing, you're already an existing healer, or you just need to have some problems fixed, we got you covered. We got you covered on this one.
Awesome. Thank you. And Shelley, since we are, we want to talk to you too about your journey. And, how did you and Lyon connect in the first place? Because I know you're working, with Lyon in a lot of the programs, So how did you get started, and can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what you like, what is stem cell therapy, number one, and how does the 3-step healing process help you with that?
Oh boy, that's a big question.
I know. I always ask more than one question at once.
Yeah, you just rolled them all in together. Yeah. I got into healing about 30 years ago. I became very ill with chronic fatigue. I was off work for 3 years with it. The doctors told me there was nothing they could do for me. I'd have to live with it. And I just thought, no, I can get over this. I just have to find how I'm going to do it. So I went into holistic healing, and it's now 20 years later, and I don't have it anymore. Chronic fatigue now is called fibromyalgia. So there's a big epidemic of that. And mine was caused by a lot of stress. And so it's, you know, stress has a big part to do with that. When I was working on it, I was guided to a program called Therapeutic Touch. And when I took that, I found out that my intuition became part of my hands. And when I placed my hands over people or animals or whatever, I sensed what was going on in their body. I was born clairvoyant, and I found that I was able to see what was going on in their body. So it just has evolved with that. I was able to reduce my brain swelling, the pains in my joints, which is big part of chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. And so it was like, okay, I can do this. I know I've got an intuition. I'm going to have to work on it and build on it. So I prayed for guidance, and we're going to fast forward now to January of last year, 2018, and I was given information about a documentary on stem cells, and I was just drawn to it. So I watched the show. Whoa, that's a background noise there. I was drawn to the show. I listened to it, and I thought, why can't I do this? I transform people's energies. I change them for them. Why can't I do this with stem cells? So this is where Lyon came in. We had met before. He did a name analysis for me. And you know how you meet someone and you just like, there's something there. It's like, I know this person. And he and I were talking about my name and the aspects that he does of it. And I'm hearing, you and he are going to become very good friends. You and he are going to work together. And I'm thinking, I can't say this to Lyon. Like, I've just met the man. How can I say this to him, right?
But so you did.
I did. I got up the nerve and I mentioned it to him, and he says, well, you know, I've been kind of feeling the same way. So when I learned saw the stem cells and downloaded the way of doing the energetic stem cells, I thought, I got to call Lyon. I got to run this by him and see what he thinks about it. And that's when the fun began, because we just bounced off each other, our higher selves. We were just bringing in so much information. And that's actually how the stem cell therapy came to be. I was given 3 places in the body where I could take the stem cells from the people. So I'm not taking foreign stem cells and using them for a person's body. And it's all energy. We are all energy, as Albert Einstein said. And so we exploded, and the ideas came, and then it was like, okay, I got to try this on me. I got to see if this is going to work, or am I just being, woo-woo? So I have a knee that's giving me a lot of issues. It's from a birth issue. And so I did the stem cells on my knee, and I felt this cool breeze go down my leg. And I felt this buzzing go down my leg.
And I wasn't involved in that. There was nothing to do with me.
No, you had nothing to do with that. No, you were thousands of miles away. So
we're thousands of miles apart. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I'm in Canada, and Lyon's down in the Caribbean on an island. So it was really I knew I was onto something, and it felt good. It didn't hurt, but I knew something had happened. And stem cells have the potency to divide and regenerate and rejuvenate. And this is what they were doing. And now I can bend my knee to about an 85 degrees, whereas before I was lucky if I could get 20. Wow. So it's come a long way. I
Yeah.
still can't do stairs properly, but it's come a very long way. And I know I'm going to get there. I know I'm going to get there. So
That's awesome.
Yes, yes. So do you want me to give you a little bit of information about the background for stem cells? Because maybe some of the listeners aren't aware.
Sure.
They've heard about it with medical.
Sure.
I use no needles. When you go for medical stem cell therapy, 2 needles are involved. One is to extract fat cells from your abdomen or wherever you have a lot of fat cells on your body. And then they put it in a centrifuge, separate the fat cells into stem cells, and then they, I'm going to say doctor the stem cells with a chemical to make them become the type of stem cells that you want to treat whatever it is the issue is you're having, whether it's a knee, a hip, whatever. And it can take up to 3 months for the people to see the results. It takes the same amount of time for the energetic stem cells, but there's no needles involved. There are 2 kinds of stem cells. There's the embryonic kind, when you're conceived and you go from 1 cell to trillions of cells. And then there's the somatic stem cells, which are the ones that repair your body. So, for example, your skin, you shed about 40,000 skin cells an hour, and you completely replace your skin in 1 month. But it's the somatic stem cells that do all that replacing and rejuvenating for you. So the stem cells keep their numbers up in your body by dividing. And there's 2 kinds of stem cells. There's the mother stem cell, who divides and creates a daughter stem cell that then just keeps multiplying, multiplying, and multiplying for whatever the issue is you have. But the mother stem cell only creates daughter stem cells. So you've always got the mother, and then you have the daughter that does all the work. And I mean, it's a brilliant idea, and it really does work. So when I work on a person, first of all, I do a clearing, which is very important. And we'll get more into that a little bit later when we start talking about the packages. And then I work on contacting the people and finding out their issues, and then I can start doing my planning for what it is that I have to do in order to help the person that is seeking my help. And it's exciting. It's really, really interesting. I worked on a lady, and she had shoulder issues, and I did the stem cells on her, and it's taken almost a full 3 months because of her issue. And she now can use her arm, and her shoulder doesn't bother her anymore. So it works. It has lasting effects.
That's what I need. My shoulder doesn't work.
Yes, your shoulder. Yes, that's it. Yeah, and the other thing is too, I did it on the joints first, and then I thought, well, stem cells are good for the skin, so I worked on my face and my neck, and after about 6 weeks, I had people saying to me, "What's going on? You're looking younger." And I didn't tell them, because at this point I didn't know how people were going to respond to it,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was March of last year that I worked on my face and my neck, and this July I'm going to be 70. I don't look it.
No, you don't.
I don't feel it, but it's one lady that I worked on. She and her husband went to a 50th reunion for her husband's work, and the first gentleman that they met there was thought she was his daughter, not his wife. So that was quite a feel-good situation for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think I
that's
look pretty
okay.
good for my age. But you know, if I think I look pretty good. But you know, for like, does it work with hair? Because look, I'm like so gray. I've been gray since I was 16, but it's like it's so gray. Does it work on hair? Does it remove gray?
You know, I got another client who wants me to work on hair as well, and I haven't really gone after that aspect of it yet. I only just started this last year, so it's a case of learning and growing
Yeah,
as I go along.
yeah.
So hair,
Good.
you're the second one for hair, so maybe this is going to be another one I'm
Shelley,
going to investigate.
what is this? What is this, Shelley? I've got some black hair sprouting out of my forehead since you started working on me.
Oh, awesome.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
lines have all gone. No, I don't use Botox.
Awesome. Cool.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
hair,
yeah,
hair, yeah, it's the early stages. As with so many other parts of the body, like the body organs and stuff that we've been doing some work on as
yeah,
well. But within
yeah.
reason, anything is possible. And the hair, yeah, that's going to be a fairly easy one for us to focus onto, because simply by just working on this side of my jaw, it has actually affected some of the hair. In fact, if you actually look further back, I'm actually very, very dark at the back. And that used to be very salt and pepper. So now I've just got the gray
Hmm.
really here at the front, and that's starting to slowly disappear, slowly. And Shelley wasn't
The
even
hair color.
focusing on doing the hair. She was doing
No.
other areas of my head and the jaw in particular. Yeah, so.
Yeah, but when I worked on him, I also asked that the stem cells go wherever, if they needed to go someplace else to help a situation to go there, and it worked on hair color. I mean, I got silver streaks up there, but my hair definitely looks a lot darker than what it did before. So hair color, yes, but to increase the amount of hair on your head, that is an area that I want to investigate more, and that's something I got to work on and see, because I've had other clients ask me about that as well, and that I am not. I don't feel
You can
comfortable doing
invite us
yet.
back later in the year. You can
Yeah,
invite us back later in the year with updates on
Yeah,
other parts of the body that we're focusing on. Yeah.
absolutely. And if you need a guinea pig for the hair, you know, I'm here. I'm open to
yeah,
experimentation. I'm fine with that. All right,
yeah,
awesome. Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, you're
So,
welcome. And the other good thing about what I do too is it's a lot cheaper than going to Panama or some of these other countries in Europe. You know, because they're like $15,000 and more. And you know, my I don't charge that. I don't charge that. So anyway, it sounds like your baby is coming to your office.
yeah, Daddy just left to go drop off his son. So he's like, why can't I go too? I think he'll be calm now. It's okay. Maybe
That's
not.
good.
Maybe not. All right. So there's some. Go ahead and talk.
Okay, alrighty.
Come here.
Well, do you want me to continue, Leon, about what I
Come
do,
here.
like the data process?
Come here.
I lost part of the sound there. It was almost like Alara put mute on herself, and I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay, well,
I did mute myself. Sorry, I thought I did. Sorry.
no, she's trying to quiet her pooch, so she wants me to keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
All right. So
is it
do you want to continue?
is it perhaps easier if I get a little bit into the three-step program? Because
Yeah.
there are parts where the stem cells do come back in again. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
maybe
Perfect.
if
Yeah.
I give a
Yeah.
little introduction on that. Basically, this three-step program, as I said, this is not something that I've invented. I'm not that clever. I'm not that smart. I haven't reinvented the wheel. What I've actually done is I've taken 3 separate wheels that were already there from my 3 mentors, and I've put them together, and I've made a tricycle. And this tricycle, it runs really smooth. It works like a charm. Once again, we are talking about hundreds of years of experience in all areas of healing. The 3 basic steps are documentation, activation, and confirmation. And through this, it's clearing first, repairing second, and balancing is third. The first part, for example, is clearing out, as I call, the junk in your trunk. How many times have you had a problem, had an issue, and someone's come along and they fixed it for you? And it's like, oh, wow, great. But then 6 months, 12 months, 2 years later, it comes back again. It's because the root cause, the source, which can very often be just negative energy, very often past lives karmic energy. I mean, what happens on planet Earth stays on planet Earth. Just like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Same thing here. You come back for another lifetime, and for example, I've always had problems with my right leg not being as strong as my left leg. Well, I've had my right leg blown to pieces, shot off at the knee. I had a lifetime where I was actually crippled with my right leg being totally deformed. And when all this comes out and comes to the surface and you start to realize it, it's amazing how the power of the mind, the subconscious mind, can just shut down these things. And you go, oh, so that was just a bad dream? It was just a bad dream. I don't have to relive it again. Okay, fine. And part of this is power of the actual mind. So the first part of my 3-step program is clearing out the junk. And the main vessel that we use for this is an octahedron. An octahedron is like a double pyramid, a pyramid on top of a pyramid. And it's one of the 5 plutonic solids. It's a very powerful symbol. And we call in archangels, ascended masters, your spirit guides, your spiritual surgeons, and we create an octahedron, and we command that all the negative energy is pulled out of you and placed in the octahedron for cleansing before it's sent back to source. Lots of healers, they'll perhaps just bury negative energy in a big, deep abyss in the ground. No, it'll find its way back out, and it'll come back out and get you. You've got to clean it. So using the octahedron in step 1 is very, very powerful. Another very powerful part of this healing program, which is fully documented, everything is there with step-by-step instructions. So you don't have to be taking notes here and trying to figure out how it's all going to work. It's a very comprehensive program. One of the most important parts of this is that we document the whole entire healing, word for word, from start to finish, all 3 steps and other stuff we put in between. We document the whole thing, and we print out those pages with the date, time, and location, your names, everything, when and where this is going to happen. And when you print out those pages and you just hold them in your hands and say, I want this to go to the Akashic Records. I command this goes to the Akashic Records. A healing to take place tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, etc., etc. Guess what? It happens. It happens. I'm sure a lot of people listening in know about the Akashic Records. Everything that happens on planet Earth is documented in the Akashic Records. What has happened right until now is carved in stone, literally. What's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next year, it's in the Akashic Records, but it's soft, it's pliable, it's like Jello form, because it hasn't quite happened yet. Because, as I so often say, we create our own world as we go along by thoughts, decisions, and actions. And every moment today reflects upon tomorrow. So you might wake up tomorrow morning and decide, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. And it creates a little shift, a little change. So when you document this full healing program and command it goes to the Akashic Records, it does. And I've been up there. I've traveled there many times. And it is actually hallowed ground. You shouldn't go there unless you have permission. And if you go there, ask for permission to look for exactly what you need to find out, and don't veer off and start putting your nose into other business. It's private, it's confidential. But if you have permission, go there. When you're there, you might actually see that there's archangels, ascended masters buzzing around. They use it like a day planner. And I've actually delivered a healing up to the Akashic records. The big gates open and the gatekeeper comes and says, hey, I said, put this in the Akashic records, please. And I say, announce it as you go in. And the gatekeeper announces it as he goes in. And I can actually hear Archangel Michael or Raphael say, yeah, got it, yeah. Hey, Amy, Una, Serapis Bay, your Leon's doing another healing tomorrow. Yeah, okay, 4 o'clock, I'll be there. They use it to check in their schedules. And it's incredible when you document it, when you then start the healing process, everything you've asked for is already starting to come in. The energy is flowing, and it even starts flowing sometimes before you start doing the healing. It is that powerful. Actually, I think Shelley's been using the Akashic records in a similar way for many, many years, haven't you?
Yes, I have. And when I do the stem cell healing, I use the Akashic records also to have it documented that these improvements are being made and this work is being done. And I also do it for when I do the clearing first. I book it through the Akashic records as well. So yes, very, very much so. It's very powerful. And like you said, sometimes it'll start even before the time that you have it booked for.
Yeah.
Because I've had many of my clients tell me that things have started to happen before the time has arrived. Yeah.
And once again, with this program, the 3-step healing program, this is all with step-by-step instructions. So it shows you all the way through exactly how, why, and what to do. There's even templates for certain parts of the healing where you just have to put in your specific information and the problems that you need to deal with. So the step 1 is clearing the junk out, but making sure that that junk is gone, back to source, cleansed, healed, back to source, never to come back and zap you again. Step 2 is where we go in and we do the actual repairing work. With the repairing work, we do call in a huge amount of assistance. We call in obviously your higher self, your spiritual surgeons, your guardian angels. We call in a lot of archangels, ascended masters. There's a list that varies depending upon the ailments of like 20 or 30 assistants that we call. And we also call in the energy of the dolphins and the whales to spin nets, to offer protection. Step 2 is literally getting into the stuff, whether it's like you see on the testimonials I have, whether it's a hole in the heart condition, problems with kidneys or lungs, heart conditions, spinal problems, the list goes on and on. It's going in and doing the actual work, and it's kind of like using your third eye as a laser to send sound waves of light and energy to either freeze or to cauterize whatever the issues and the problems are. And once again, when it's all documented, if you're doing it on yourself or another person, you just go through it and just trust it's going to happen, and the energy starts to flow. It is quite incredible how Shelley, people who I've taught this system, they will work on themselves or another person, and they can actually feel stuff actually happening immediately. There's all this sensation going through the body. A big part of this, like I said, is linked to science. For example, indications that the body is capable of healing itself goes to, for example, the placebo effect. Now, the placebo effect, a lot of people don't know the history. Placebo, the word came about during the Second World War. There was a doctor called Henry Beecher, who's a Harvard guy, and he was in Africa, and he was on the battle zone doing surgery, and he ran out of morphine. And a nurse, very sprightly, very quickly said, hey, to the patient, don't worry, I found some morphine. And all it was saline, but she put the saline into the actual injection, gave the guy the shot, and just her kind, soft, gentle words reassuring him, he actually thought, wow, this is going to be great. I've got the morphine. Well, it wasn't morphine, but guess what? Dr. Beecher was able to perform the surgery on this guy's leg.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after the Second World War, when he was back in Harvard, he started to investigate this. And sure enough, you know, placebo, it's just a sugar pill. That's all it is. It's a sugar pill. And all these big pharmaceutical companies, they often do it for experimentation purposes. And very often someone who's on a sugar pill starts to heal. Why do they start to heal? Power of intention, power of the conscious and the subconscious mind. I am going to fix my problems. A big part of it has to come from you. You have to want it. You have to need it. If you do, it sets off a chain reaction. Now, for example, with the placebo, they found that a capsule has more effect than a tablet. Injections have more effect than capsules. 2 placebos are better than 1 placebo. Even colors. Blue work best for sleeping pills. Red works best for painkillers. Yellow works best for antidepressants. Our brain activates chemicals that stimulate natural healing from the brain throughout the body. So a part of this is coming from you. Going a bit further, I'm not sure if anyone's probably even heard of what's called the Zeno effect. It's an experiment that actually started back in the 70s. This was at Cornell University. And it's called the Zeno effect because it's named after a Greek philanthropist. They have a big laboratory, controlled environment, and in this actual experiment, they were able to actually monitor atoms on an atomic level. Obviously, there are cells. Cells are made up of molecules, and molecules are made up of atoms. And it's a proven fact, and studies are still ongoing, that when you are observing atoms, when you're observing molecules, cells, atoms, you're observing them, they stop moving. They stop moving. It's scientifically proven. So again, with the 3-step program, all we've done is taken that and just gone a little step further, taken the ladder up one more notch, and observe the atoms, talk to them, give them instructions, tell them to end all this disorder. Guess what? It works, especially when it's documented in the Akashic records, and you have all the archangels and ascended masters to assist you with this healing. Whether you're dealing with just small little stuff, you know, like worry, stress, anxiety, or serious stuff like cancers, tumors, and all the nasty stuff we don't really like talking about, this system, it works like a rocket, like rocket fuel. It really is powerful. Just very quickly going back to the octahedron on part 1 of the healing system. So if you're hearing noise of a plane, I live on a very small island. It's only 10 miles from top to bottom. So I do get planes going across the roof of my house.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The octahedron is like two pyramids. A lot of people are probably already aware that the pyramids are used for healing. Mm-hmm. Dr. Volodymyr Krasnolovets, or I forget how you pronounce his name. This was in Russia during the Cold War. It was sponsored by the Russian government. They started constructing pyramids in Russia, just outside of Moscow. And they would place things inside these pyramids. And it was amazing how the vibrational energy within certain things would change. For example, simple things like salt. They put salt inside these huge big pyramids, and after a couple of weeks they took the salt out and they put it in the local prison, the local jailhouse. Mm-hmm. And just by the prisoners using this salt, their levels of anxiety and their levels of anger and disruption all came down, all dropped down. You can actually put water into this pyramid and freeze it to -40 degrees centigrade. and you think, oh, yeah, it's frozen. But as soon as you pick it up and shake it, it turns from ice back to water, still at minus 40 degrees centigrade. Some incredible stuff has been done within pyramids. And pyramids, all this information, again, is in the program. It's packed with information, more knowledge for you to be able to ascend up to higher levels, to understand how the universe really works. Getting back to the Zeno effect, part of what we do here, we talk on an atomic level to the energy within your body and give it instructions. And if you've got the backing of the archangels and ascended masters, they ain't going to say no. They don't say no. They don't want to be messing around. Then step 2, which is doing all this repairing work. I'll let Shelley just come in to go more into step 2 using stem cells. And then I'll go into the step 3, the final part of my program, which is the balancing. So step 1, clearing out the junk, using octahedron. Step 2, repairing all the damage. And you can even use this step 2 for just bringing in more abundance, using the laws of attraction to increase health and happiness within your life. So, Shelley, stem cells for repairing.
Awesome. So, Shelley, just before you start, I just wanted to say just to give a little information to people. So, I have been muting all of your videos in case you're wondering what's going on, just to conserve the bandwidth, so that Lyon and Shelley and we all have bandwidth for our videos. But when we do go to ask questions, and if you want to speak, then feel free to unmute your video. And we do have some questions in the chat, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. Okay. So, awesome,
okay,
Shelley.
well, I'm okay. I won't take up a lot of time here for this. I use the Zeno effect as well when I do the stem cell therapy. I tell the stem cells exactly what it is that I want them to do, where I want them to go, and it's been amazing, the results that we've been having with people for joints, the skin. I have a sweet dog down in Australia who had his human mum bought a package for 2 joints for his hips, and he was 14 years old. I did the clearing on him, did the stem cells on him, and she sent me an email and said that he was now behaving like he did when he was a puppy. And he was moving around much more easily. He was getting his toys and hiding them on them in the house. And his whole behavior was going back to when he was younger. And I do animal communication. So I was able to connect with this sweetheart. And I connected with him. I told him what I was going to do, and I did the clearing, and then I told him I was going to do the stem cells. I did the stem cell work on him, and then the next morning, because there's such a big time difference between where they are and where I am, I connected with him again, and asked him, how he was feeling, and he said that he was feeling better, and that he was so grateful that I had done this for him. And so when I work with people, I ask them, they have to send me a picture. And I had a picture of this sweetheart. His name was Tigger. And I just took the picture and I kissed him on his forehead. And I said to him, I send you my love from my heart to your heart. And I heard, put my picture on your heart. And I did. And I had happy tears just streaming out of my eyes of gratitude and love for 7 minutes. He was so grateful. And his mom was just absolutely thrilled with it. And his reasoning of wanting this was because he was older. There was a young daughter in the household, and he didn't want her remembering him as being old and unable to walk. He wanted to be able to play with her. So,
that's lovely.
I'm an animal.
That's so
what can I say? Yeah, exactly. That's it. So it works as well on animals as it does on we humans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing what can happen. But you have to, as Leon has said, you have to be open to receive. If you've got limiting beliefs that are saying, "Oh, I don't know about this," you know, she's a little bit out there, then it's not going to work. Not going to work,
Well,
folks. You've got to be
I'm
open,
sorry.
and
I'm sorry.
miracles can happen.
I slightly disagree there. When you say it's not going to work, it will work. Everybody always gets a shift, but you might only get 10% or 20% or 30% of what you could really have if you are fully going with it. Sorry to butt in there, but you do have to be wanting it.
You have to be open. You have to be open to receive, to change for the better. When Leon and I do our work, we always work for the highest and the best for you. And if you're not willing to receive that, then you may get dribs and drabs. But if you're open to receive it, man, it's amazing the changes that we can help you to facilitate. Because a healer doesn't do the work. All we do is get the cells in your body to do what it is they're supposed to do. And they can regenerate and they can shift and they can make amazing changes. I know when I was sick with the chronic fatigue, I felt like I was down in the bottom of a pit and the sun was just a pinprick at the top of that big, huge tunnel. And I just kept climbing and climbing. And you may have to do that, but it's doable. So don't give up. Please don't give up. I don't know what your situations are, but don't give up.
Yeah. And
you're going through it for a reason.
Something else which is a big part of this healing program, which I'm not going to go into long talks on it, but what you eat, drink, and breathe are so vitally important. So many people, they think they eat healthy, drink healthy. I used to think years ago, I honestly believed that the Tropicana orange juice and V8 vegetable juice was good for you. I'm serious. Until the knowledge started, bombarding, and it hasn't stopped. A big part of the program, it gives you huge amounts of information, and this is stuff that I've researched. And there's, for example, I think there's like 40 videos, links for 40 videos on YouTube. Most of them are quite short, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Every single one is vetted by me that, yes, this is really informative and it's easy to follow and it's easy to make these little shifts and these little changes. It's the way you eat, drink, and breathe. And once again, please, everybody listening in, do get the free gift. It tells you a lot about how to change the structure of your drinking water, the food that you eat. Once again, going back to science, the polygraph machine. There's a guy called Cleveland Baxter, and he actually developed the polygraph machine, which, as we know, is the lie detector. You put it on parts of the body and you ask the person questions and he's telling a lie. Oh, he's telling the truth. Well, this is all true. You can research it, and there's a video on the free gift that explains all this. He actually took the polygraph machine and he thought, I wonder if it'll work on plants. And so he hooked up the sensors onto this big tall plant, and he started to say a few words, and the machine started to send out some signals. He thought, wow, this is amazing. And his plan was to try and measure the evaporation rate of water from the roots out through the leaves. And he thought to himself, well, he just thought, using his thoughts, he thought, maybe if I get a blowtorch and put a blowtorch on some of those leaves, that'll speed up the evaporation. As soon as he thought those words in his mind, the machine started going crazy. The plant has sensory perception, and it picked up that he was having these negative thoughts. And this also applies to human cells. Once again, it's on the video. I'm not going to spend lots of time talking about it. The gift is free. It's a free gift. Read it. Look at the couple of videos on there. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing what you can do if you put everything together. You document your healing, you do the clearing, you do the repairing, you use the power of intention, you change what you eat, drink, breathe, the way you live your life. You aim for vitality, health, happiness, and strength. The free gift also talks about the laws of attraction, how to make it work. Why have so many people failed? Because they haven't done the 3 steps: documentation, activation, confirmation. Why is it Dr. Masaru Emoto, the guy who was doing those experiments on rice and water, and he could flash freeze samples of water and show the structure of water that was being spoken to kindly and loving, and water that was being spoken to, I don't like you, I hate you. It had a different vibration, a different resonance that could be measured. Why is it that some people manage to debunk Dr. Masaru Emoto's theory? Why? Because from the very beginning, their mindset was, I'm out to debunk this. This ain't gonna work. So they would get, you know, the 2 glass jars, maybe with half an apple inside each, and write the documented words, documentation, documented words, love, and documented hate, put one in one room, one in the next room. Then they would activate it verbally by going into the room. Oh, lovely, I love you. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. I'll come and see you tomorrow. They'll then go into the next room and they'll look at the other apple and go, grr, I hate you. This is such a joke, but I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Grr, I hate you. There's no intention there at all. No intention. There's documentation, activation verbally. Confirmation is the power of intention. And this 3-step program is all about doing all 3 of those together, packed with a whole pile of other information.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
And you know, you're right. It is a lot about intention as well. You know, what is your intention for your life, for your healing? You know, sometimes we might think that, yes, we want to heal, but then there might be some other programs running in the background that, no, I don't really want to heal. You know, I really like some part of what's going on. And,
or you can just be distracted. I mean, sure, we all have busy lives these days. Well, I don't so much. Now I moved to this little island. It's not even on maps.
Must be nice.
It is that small.
Stop rubbing with it.
but yeah, we all have busy lives. And this is where step 3, which is a sequence of 27 cards. And actually soon after, we will actually do a little mini live healing where Alara is going to bring up the images of 7 of these 27 cards that are in step 3 of this program. I'm going to read out the information. You just have to sit back and just absorb the energy, and you will feel a shift. You might feel it immediately, you might feel it tomorrow, but you will feel a shift. And this is just a small sample of the 27 cards. The 3rd step is what I call the balancing part. And the human body, it's a sponge for emotions, both positive and negative, as homeopathic healing will tell you. And if not balanced, you know, just like in part 1, the clearing, if you don't clear it out, if you don't balance it, you haven't got the whole package. So that's why the 3 steps, all 3 steps are so important. Now, the 3 steps, again, this is not something that I invented. It's a guy called Brian Jenner. He spent most of his life in Australia. He passed away, I think, in 2006. He's from England, spent much of his life there. And it's a process that he calls Internal Acoustic Surveillance Technology, or IAST. And it involves placing a series of cards with diagrams and documented words of healing to remove negative emotions and reprogram you with positive emotions. We pull out the negatives and replace with positives to balance the physical and the spiritual body and the mind to one of pureness, health, and vitality. So the body absorbs the information, which is activated verbally and then fulfilled with the power of intention. Again, the whole process is documented in the Akashic records, carving it in stone. Now, Brian's research, which was about 30 years, it resulted in developing this process in which he calls harmonic rebalancing of the body systems. And he discovered that our DNA resonates with 12-number digital fractal sequences and equations. He also managed to optimize the chakras with the use of colors, and with the chakras and the meridians restored to optimum performance using focused intent, the mind, the body, the energy field is rebalanced. Now, even back then, back in the 90s, when I got my first set of cards, which was in the late 90s, this guy was already aware of chemtrails, vaccinations, and HAARP, which is the weather conditions thing that the US government have. He was aware of that back in the 90s. And this is all built into the program to pull this negative vibration out of your body and replace it with positive harmony. All I've done is I've just slightly updated the system to now include Wi-Fi frequencies, EMFs, radiation, and of course 5Gs. You know, these all this talk now about all these new satellites and more cell towers going up with 5G. It's serious stuff. And with this program, once again, it actually shows you how to not only clear it out, how to put up shields and protect yourself from any future invasion into your personal space. So,
wow.
Yeah, powerful stuff, all backed with science. It's science and spirituality, and it's physical and metaphysical. That's been a big part of my journey. As it says on my bio, I kind of call myself a 21st century philosopher. Doesn't mean anything special, just a fancy word. Philosopher is a fancy word for somebody who loves knowledge and information and wants to suck it up and analyze it and put this with that and put them together. And it's like when I was a kid, I used to love having Lego bricks because I'd start building stuff. Well, I'm still doing the same thing now, but I'm taking all these different modalities, all these different healing techniques, and putting them all together in this one powerful system. And the 3-step program, which also includes all the information on the stem cells as well. So even if you don't need to work one-on-one with Shelley, the stem cell information is in the actual program. This is a full training seminar, a whole weekend and more project to take you to levels that even still to this day, I'm still amazed sometimes when if I'm last summer, I was in England and I met with a friend and her knee was all messed up. I said, well, let me take a look at that. And I just put my hand on it and I just did some of my stuff, you know. I didn't get a chance to document it, but I called in assistants, archangels, ascended masters, her spirit guides, spiritual surgeons, and I just used, you know, talking to the atoms. And immediately she got up and she started to walk without a limp. It was still a little bit tight, but oh, it's so much better. In fact, she even left a review. There is a review on the page that you posted. Within a couple of weeks, everything was back to normal.
Wow.
And I did that in like 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. I'm not special. None of us are special. We've all just elevated. We've learned. We've gathered the knowledge, the information. There are 64 fundamental principles of the universe. And I'm going through them one by one. And incredible what you can do just with the knowledge. So,
wow.
Sorry if I'm talking a little bit too much. It's actually my names that I talk a lot.
No, I think it's wonderful because I'm surprised, I'm happily surprised that the internet has not acted up. So yay, it all worked out really well.
Yeah.
So we do have some questions and we want to do that mini healing and we also want to talk about the special offers, right?
Yep.
So what would you like to do first?
Want to do the questions first?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure there's people that have been waiting, so bring them on.
Yeah.
So if you have a question that you'd like to ask live, you can unmute yourself or you can raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll just go through the questions in the chat. So Linda was asking about if it will pull heavy metals out of vaccines is the first question.
Yes.
Yes. And so then she was also talking about, does it work on autistic and ADHD children who have been damaged from those vaccines?
Yes, but once again, diet, health, nutrition, the water that you drink, all these factors are also very, very important. So within the full program, like I said, it covers all the spectrums. Sure, the spiritual work that we do on an atomic level is very, very powerful. It's incredible, but you do need to follow through with other stuff as well. I mean, all this attention hyperactivity disorder and so forth, big part of it is brought on by excess sugar. I'm not talking about just sugar. It's high fructose corn syrup and all these other fancy names they have now for all these additives. I mean, when I walk into a supermarket, I'm horrified. All I see is poison everywhere, rows and rows of poison. I'm basically, well, not totally, but kind of a raw organic vegan. And it's amazing how little by little, you don't do it overnight. It takes months and months, but eventually you start changing the way you eat, drink, and breathe. And I mean, I haven't been to a doctor. I can't remember the last time I went to a doctor. I don't get sick. I don't get sick because of the way I eat, drink, and breathe and the mindset. And if I get a little problem, I work on it myself, or I ask Shelley to help. Like I had a problem with what they call bone loss. Had some teeth on both sides at the back were getting loose. Been an ongoing problem for like 20, 30 years. Shelley, I tried working on it, and I got some result, but sometimes, you know, you need some outside assistance. So I called on Shelley, and she fixed this side. Perfect. This side is slowly repairing. So we could say we got maybe like a 60 to 70% success rate.
So far.
That's pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, more questions.
So Caroline was asking, she says, I have a deviated septum and a hairline fracture on my shoulder from a bad fall. Might it repair it?
A deviated septum and a
hairline fracture on her shoulder.
Oh, that, I mean, obviously she could use the three-step program on herself, but if she's not into healing, if she's not already a healer or doesn't want to become a healer, or even if she's a beginner, then consider getting the program for all future things. But on this particular one, I would say go to Shelley. Shelley, you had some input on that, I'm sure.
The bones and that, I can work on that with the stem cells with no problem.
Awesome. She is a healer too. And what about Crohn's? Any clients with testimonials about Crohn's or Crohn's and colitis or anything like that?
Crohn's as in CHRONMS, I think it's okay, which is a problem within the gut system. Yes. Once again, what you eat, drink, and breathe, vitally important. A combination of changing the way you eat and using the three-step program, very powerful. I have actually worked on a person with that problem. I don't have a testimonial, but we got success. It did take something like, after about 3 months, she was basically on the road home. And then it took like another 3 to 6 months of changing the way that she would eat, drink, which then aided the recovery, and finished.
Awesome. Good, cool.
So, yes.
There's sugar in so much of what you buy that you don't even think sugar should be in, but it's in there.
Yeah.
When you start reading the labels.
One of the recommendations in the program, there's only recommendations for like 4 or 5 books. Most of it is little articles that back up all the information that I've been talking about. But there's a guy called Patrick Holford in England, and he wrote a book back in the 90s called The New Optimum Nutrition Bible. It's 500 pages, and it's incredible when you read that book and you start to think, you open up your mind, and well, as he says, if you don't plant it in the ground yourself, water it, watch it grow, and then cut it, crop it, prepare it, eat it, you've got no idea what you're putting in your mouth.
That's true.
So anything that's in a package, know that there's a man somewhere who's trying to make money out of it. And very often they don't care how they make their money. They will put MSG in stuff to make it taste better, so you come back and buy more. They won't eat the stuff or drink the stuff themselves. So you do need to re-educate yourself on food, what you drink, all these soda drinks and stuff. Oh, I mean, like I said, I walk into a supermarket, all I see is poison. And that even applies to your household cleaning products, which again is in my program. Did you know that white vinegar, baking soda, coconut oil, hydrogen peroxide, those 4 things, you can transform what's in your kitchen and for cleaning your house. I even make my own toothpaste. I mean, the list goes on, and it's all in the program. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Ricky's also asking, what about problems involving metal implants in place of bone?
Yeah. Within the step 3, it goes deeply into implants, including dental implants, which are the most common ones. Obviously, depending upon what you've got, yes, if you've got any bacteria, any contamination around that area, that can be cleansed out. Depending what they used when they put it in there, depends on how often you're going to have to go back in again to keep repairing the damage that's caused by this foreign object that's inside your body. Once again, with that, over to you, Shelley. If you've got something which is persisting there, then the stem cells, especially if, for example, you've had these implants for sort of like knees and hip joints. They only have a short life, and then they just give you more problems than what you had in the beginning. Whereas with the stem cells, you can very often bypass all those sort of problems. Shelley?
Yes, exactly. And the other thing to remember too is people have been handling these metal whatevers that you're having put in your body. So their energy is on that implant.
Right.
So it's not pristine. You've got their energy and anyone else's energy that has been handling it, and it's going into your body. So the clearing that Lyon does in his program and the clearing that I do, which is different to Lyon's, but is very, very potent. It needs to be cleaned out of there. And I mean, and if you can get that cleaned out and get the metal to be, shall we say, friendly with your body, it may eradicate whatever symptoms it is that you're having. So, you know, I mean, if you've got it in there, you've got it in there, so you're going to have to live with it. I had all the silver amalgam fillings taken out of my mouth, and it made a huge difference to me. But I don't have any implants. I've had my teeth pulled, and I'm actually, this is another one I'm looking into. I'm also looking into regrowing my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And Lyon too, because he's got a few spaces in there as well. So,
awesome.
You know, this is stuff that's possibilities that we're looking into.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So do you want to do the healing, or do you want to talk about the special offers?
Healing, yes.
Yes.
Okay. You can direct people to where they'll find the pages. The pages, there's actually 7 of them. The ones which are very visual and easy to spot are like these ones here.
Yeah, I'm just going to share my screen so then they'll be able to see it.
So however you're going to do it, if you're going to bring them up on the screen, or they're going to go somewhere and actually view them, great. Basically, I'm not sure if you'll be seeing me, but I'm going to be like this because I'm going to be reading all this information.
We won't be seeing you. We'll only be seeing the image, the picture on the screen.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to be reading all this information. Basically, it's very simple. All you've got to do is just sit back, relax, be ready to receive, and just let it go. Just let it go. And you can read along with some of the information if you can see it on the screen. You don't have to. Just me saying those words is activating this documentation that's right in front of you. And then with your receiving and Shelley and I sending out the power, then you will receive it. Obviously, don't immediately after this jump in your car and drive down the highway at walk factor 3, because some people sometimes get a little bit of lightheadedness, a little bit of dizziness. It varies from person to person, but certainly give yourself 10-15 minutes and just make sure you're 100% focused before you go off and start working on dangerous machinery like chainsaws and snow plows and stuff like that.
You may feel too relaxed to do that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, so I will share my screen, and then you can continue to chat.
Yeah. Also, I've got some music here that I'm just going to turn on, and if it gets a bit too loud or a bit too soft, maybe you can just tell me.
Yep.
This will just help people get in the groove a little bit. How's the volume on that?
It's a bit loud.
Loud.
Is the volume good? Are you able to hear me loud and clear?
The music's a bit loud, right? That's perfect.
Yeah, down a bit more.
I can't hear anything from Alara. Can you signal if you want me to turn the music up or turn the music down? Up on the volume or down? Down? Okay, let's go down, 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 down. How's that? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Much better.
1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Good. Okay, everybody, get yourself ready. Sit back, relax. All you got to do is just focus on these pages. You might need to reduce your screen just a little bit so you can see the whole one image on your screen. Okay? Because when we get to a couple of them further up, it's more than just words. There's an actual diagram there, and you need to focus on the whole picture, the whole diagram. So we're going to go pages 1 through 7, and I'm going to tell you when we're moving on to the next page and the next page and the next page. So sit back, relax, and just let it flow. Okay, we're going to start with the first page, which starts off creator of all that is.
Oh, hold on.
I see the first page there right now.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Get comfortable. Get your breathing nice and even and slow and paced. Some people find it good to breathe in through the nose and out very gently through the mouth, whatever works for you. Creator of all that is, it is commanded. Pull out the energies, programs of betrayal, delete stress receptors on Lydon gland, activate orchid function, phase conjugate negative on solar plexus and compute positive, restore reasoning capacity, deflate conflict of territory, 6 molecules, square the circle, all factors relative to the jaw, teeth and sockets, sheath high voltage and amperage from all metal in the mouth and other parts of the body. Infinite bandwidth, all factors relative to the same. Spine, all factors relative. Colon, all factors relative. Download this information. Process this information. Absorb it. It is done. It is done. It is done. Moving on to the second page. Second page, here we go. Using the deterministic law of the DNA, cancel the stress receptor on the body relative to being able to receive. Using this fractal, 7 iterated, 7 squared, plus C green G major. Reset and maintain the cranial respiratory impulse and adjust all that it pertains to using this fractal, 5 iterated, 5 squared, plus C green G major. Clear all brainstem bacteria and unhealthy bacteria elsewhere in the body caused by chemtrails, electromagnetic radiation, EMF, high-active oral research program frequencies, vaccination, immunization, or injections using this fractal, 6 iterated, 6 squared, plus C yellow F major. Create an organic protective shield around all metal in the mouth and any dead teeth. Include this to body parts. Metal in body parts as well, please. Sheath all high voltage and amperage using this fractal, 5 iterated, 5 squared, plus C green E major. Reset the integrity to directional joint plates throughout this field and repair all moving parts and any fractures, including energetic fractures, using this fractal. Using this fractal. 3 iterated, 3 squared, plus C green D major. Bring life force up to 120 gallons every 60 seconds using this fractal. 4 iterated, 4 squared, plus C white F major. Download this information now. Process this information now. Absorb. Acknowledge. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Moving on to the next page. Okay, if you want to read along, you can, or just sit back and just let the energy flow. For stress release, obey the harmonic 687-955-898-998. It is commanded, obey the harmonic 687-955-898-998. It is commanded, obey the harmonic 687-955-898-998. End DNA scrambling and restore alkaline fibers of DNA structures. I'd like the infinite bandwidth to be resonated, iterated, bifurcated, and attenuated on all dimensions by applying it to the fiber optics of anyone watching this page right now. This is to establish the synchronicity of thought, speech, and action, and eliminate any echoes of the past negative emotional reactions that are disturbing said synchronicity. Establish the balance of the pendulum, end all argumentation with the truth by programming this harmonic. 678-778-678-889. 678-778-678-889. I repeat, it is commanded 678-778-678-889. I want 100% RNA made available. This is the memory chemical that translates DNA into a chemical response in the cells. I'm transmitting at 25 volts, 111 cycles on a carrier wave of 435 megacycles per second. Restore the natural cranial resonance to universal resonance between 840 and 890 megacycles per second by passing all interference from radiation, metal in mouth, attitude, belief system, and adjust the neural lattice to do the same. Bring the immune system up to 100% optimum functioning. It is commanded, bring the immune system up to 100% optimum functioning. Under the auspices of 9 iterated, 9 squared, plus C, purple G major, I want the field now to compute 238 millivolts negative electrical potential throughout the body fluid approaching plus 4 degrees centigrade. Obey the light equation so that this body mind field will take advantage of moving through the DNA unzipping angle of a 7 degrees, 20 minutes of arc on a 360-degree arc at twice the speed of light to leave the body behind that has been damaged by negative emotions. Leave behind the negative emotions. Adjust the Biden occlusion at any time there is interference from chemicals, including chemtrails, electromagnetic radiation, HARP, dental and medical procedures, accidents, inoculations, vaccinations, switching, and short circuit in bite function. Download now. Process now. Absorb now. Accept now. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Next page for the endocrine glands. You don't have to read the words with me, you can if you want to, but do focus on the diagram. Okay, focus on the diagram that shows the body parts there. Endocrine glands. Yes, listen to me. Anybody looking on this diagram now, looking on this page, it is commanded instructions to their endocrine glands. We are watching you, observing every movement you make. I'm talking to you through the third eye and the pineal gland of the person who is reading this and watching this now. Hypothalamus, pituitary, parathyroid, thyroid, thymus, left adrenal, right adrenal. If you are male, the left testes and the right testes. If you are female, the left ovary and the right ovary. It is commanded by all present and overseeing this healing, you stop this disruption and work together in unison now as intended by the creator of all that is. Follow this command now and continue to work together as a team, bringing forth balance and harmony within the body for optimal health and happiness. It is commanded you understand and obey this command now. Work in unison together. Endocrine glands, work in unison now. Download. Process. Absorb. Activate. Now. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you with love and gratitude. Moving on to the next page, the 6-element chart. There are 2 pages here that look very similar, but the instructions and the diagrams are slightly different. So this is the first one, the 6-element chart. All you have to do is just focus on that chart. The circle with the colors, the balls going around it, just focus on that. Everything else will happen through this documentation and this activation. You just receive, be willing to receive. It is commanded for the 6-element chart. This could be how you might be feeling right now with some disruption, air being stolen from different elements. It should come from the central and governing and flow in unison. So if you need adjustment, looking on this diagram now, this could be your disruption. We're going to remove that disruption. It is commanded, remove negative lines, mark 4, creating confusion. Activate positive lines, mark 3, supplying air to all the elements. Activate lines 1, positive smooth flow to each and every element, thus producing harmony within the physical and spiritual body and mind. And if Laura can now please go to the next diagram. Please focus on this new diagram, this new image. This is how you should be. This is health and happiness within the 6 elements. So it is commanded. You follow those instructions. You removed all those negative lines. You now have air from the central and governing going to all the elements. It is commanded. The energy flow to your central and governing to all elements is now restored to normal function. I repeat, the energy flow to your central and governing to all elements is now restored to normal function. Obey the harmonic 457, 557, 888, 799. I repeat, obey the harmonic 457, 557, 888, 799. It is commanded, obey the harmonic 457, 557 888 799. It is done, it is done, it is done. Thank you. Download, process, absorb, activate, hold it. Don't let it go. Hold this in place. Thank you, with love and gratitude. Now to the last image, the last card. We are now going to balance the chakras, the center and balance of the chakras. All you have to do is just focus on the diagram. You can focus primarily on the left-hand side, which is using the Mayan interdimensional star map. It is commanded, center and balance the 7 chakras with the 7 houses in our heavenly universe as originally designed by our creator of all that is. All who are observing this image, focus on it, be open to receiving this vibrational shift. It is commanded, center and balance the 7 chakras with the 7 houses in our heavenly universe as originally designed by our creator of all that is. It is commanded now. Download. Process. Accept. Activate. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. With love and gratitude. I'll just let the music flow for just a few more seconds. If you had your eyes closed, whenever you're ready, you can start to open them. You should feel a calmness coming over you. If you feel a little bit disorientated, don't worry, it'll soon pass. Okay, if you can remove the images, please, and if you can bring me back up on screen, please, Alara. Just want to show you a little technique. Get your hands, and you can create this shape and turn it around and focus on your 2 thumbs. If you're feeling disoriented, just look closely at your 2 thumb tips together like this for about 10 seconds, and any disorientation and dizziness will very, very quickly pass. Focus on those 2 thumbs. This is actually a part of some yoga exercises which are also included within the program. Like I said, it's comprehensive, it's got everything. Okay, I'm going to wind down the music.
I was going to say, did you say something about being tired after? So,
and I'm going to have to turn off. I'm going to have to turn off this other computer with the music because it's causing disruption. So, okay, everybody, we're back on planet Earth. Well, not that we really traveled very far on this one, but within the actual program, especially if you're familiar with Theta Healing, you can confirm all of this work up in Theta. It does add an extra little zap, a little extra punch. So,
awesome. No, that was lovely. It's beautiful. I'm a little bit tired, to be honest, but Caroline is saying I felt a lot of energy during the healing, but I'm a little bit tired now. Caroline is saying, I feel a lot of energy. Another cool thing, my tongue and gums are vibrating. And Linda says, I feel a lot of energy and peaceful. So a lot of energy during the process. So maybe what I'm feeling, maybe it's not tiredness per se, but it's relaxed. I'm relaxed now, and calmer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You'll find that if the tiredness came over, give it about 15, 20 minutes, and especially if you actually start to take some good gulps of air. Yawning is actually very good. Yawning is actually your body telling your system that there's lack of oxygen in your blood system going to the brain. You know, this body that we have was designed so incredibly well. This is the 6th generation of bodies we've had here on planet Earth. And these ones are designed pretty good. You know, if you get a cut, you know, what happens? A little blood clot, and then you get a scab, and then very often there's not even a scar after a few weeks. The body's very good at taking care of itself if you nurture it and look after it. You know, feed it, water it with the right good stuff, and then you can follow through with all these different practices that just accelerate and speed everything into a wonderful fruition.
Karen, I'm going to say Karen, sounds like a French name to me. She says, very calm, some tiredness, but feel good. James says, I feel like I could take a nap. Yeah, I could take a nap.
Well, it's best not to take a nap, actually. It's best at the end, which is coming up very, very soon, to just either walk outside if it's not too cold where you are, and just get some air into your lungs and just breathe and just get the oxygen through the body. So that is the best thing to do. With the actual full 27 cards, which are in the program, you can actually, even once you've used them for the first time, you only have to use them maybe once and give yourself a top up every sort of year or couple of years, but you can actually get all 27 cards or just a few of them and actually put them under your pillow at bed at night or under your mattress at night, and you'd be amazed the difference it makes to how you're going to sleep. You'll sleep like a baby.
That sounds good. I don't sleep well. So Linda says it's 60 below here today with the wind chill wherever she is. It's freaking cold somewhere today.
Well, it's minus 30 here where I am. We're in the Arctic vortex, and it sounds like she is too.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not. So yay. So awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Leon. That was brilliant. I mean, wow. I'm like, when you were reading everything, it's like, wow, this is amazing.
That's just a small sample, a tiny, tiny bit of the whole program. You know, when you actually see
like
all 27 cards, the big part of step 3 is pulling out the negative emotions and replacing with positive. There is one of those cards shown on your page. It's the blue card, and that gives you an example of pulling out certain types of negative emotions and replacing with positives. There's several cards with all these different colors. And that, just pulling out negatives and putting in positives, that alone on its own is so powerful, especially if you have stress and anxiety. And if your lifestyle is just busy, you know, just take a couple of those cards with you to work. What's going to be she put those cards in her purse. And whenever she feels a panic attack coming on, she'd get out the 2 cards, place them on her chest, say a few words, panic attack would be gone. Well, she only had to do it for a few weeks because the panic attacks have now finished, long gone, done, finished, never to come back. So, yeah.
Wow, thank you. That's amazing. Because I know, and there are so many people that suffer from anxiety, panic attacks, stress, you know, all that kind of stuff, especially right now. Right?
Yeah.
There's so much on our plates.
Yes. All right, so we should talk about the special offers. So for those of you who are on the live page, just click on special offer. Those of you who are not, you can go to alara.at/show/Leon and Shelley. There's always a link everywhere, so I don't know why I say it, but just in case. All right, so Leon and Shelley, you want to talk about the special offers? We have, hold on, I'm just finding. I
only have 2. I have 2.
Yes, Leon has 2 and Shelley has 4.
Yeah, mine is very, very simple. Mine, the first option is the 3-step healing program. Everything we've been talking about and a ton more stuff. Like I said, it's jam-packed with over 100 years of experience. Plus all the recent stuff that I've been compiling, you know, just with these articles and little short videos you can watch in your own time to just expand your knowledge on health, happiness, and abundance. So the actual full program is there. It's an electronic file. It's about 10 megabytes. It's pretty big. So depending upon your internet connection, might take a little while to download, or you can actually download the individual files one by one if you need to. It's a weekend seminar and plus and plus and plus and plus. For people who want to start learning about healing, this is a golden opportunity to have this weekend seminar for a fraction of the price of what you'd pay for something similar. And if you are already a healing practitioner, as I said before, if you know Reiki, Theta healing, whatever it is you're doing, you can mix in the majority of this system with what you're already doing. If what you're doing works for you, don't change. Don't change, because you found your little spot, your sweet spot. Keep with it. But going through this 3-step program, you're going to be amazed how much you can just go up and up and up to higher levels. It's very, very powerful stuff.
And you can just use it for yourself. If you don't want to use it on clients or anybody else, you can use it for yourself.
I'm afraid every word you just said broke up. Could you repeat that, please, Alara?
I was saying that you could use it for yourself, even if you don't want to use it for clients, you know, or anything like that. You can use it for yourself.
Oh, yes, for yourself, for another person, animal, a place, and beginners or advanced, step-by-step instructions with the whole thing. Templates, so you just put in your information. It's real simple, real easy. It's bulletproof, you know. So that is the actual program. If you have no healing experience, or if you have particular ailments that you want to deal with, you might want to go with my second option. The second option is the full program, but with a follow-up 30-minute consultation to answer all of your questions relating to the program and issues that you might have. Please do follow through with this within about 30 days of purchasing, because obviously if you contact me 6 months or a year later, I might not be where I am now. I could be somewhere else and busy. So please get back within about 30 days. It says a 30-minute consultation. Sometimes it runs into an hour. It's not about the time, it's about answering all of your questions. So there is the follow-up consultation just for a small additional fee, which is very, very useful, especially if you're not an experienced healer already.
Awesome.
That's my 2 packages.
So option 1, just the 3 steps to healing, happiness, abundance package is $151. That's the whole program. And then option 2 is the program plus the 30-minute consultation with Lyon, which is $196. So definitely a bargain, I have to say. You know, if you've ever done other healing modalities or taken other training, you know that this is really good, especially with the 30-minute extra to if you have questions and so on. So thank you. That's really makes it very easy for people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. To learn something new and try it for themselves, or maybe start to use it for friends and family and pets and whatever else. All right, so Shelley has 4 options available. So yay, let's talk about those. Shelley?
Okay. Well,
what happened? Shelley, you just muted yourself in your video. Hold on, let me unmute you. That is so weird that she just... Lyon, are you still there?
I'm still here, and I can see that there's no picture for Shelley, and it's got a mute on the microphone as well. So
yeah, and I can't unmute her or unmute the video either, which is it's so weird. We were doing so well.
Yeah. If she doesn't come back, if you want to run through the 4 options, obviously I'm very familiar with her work and I can interject a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first option that Shelley has is energetic clearing for 1 problem for $143. And then option 2 is healing or repairing 1 joint. Option 3 is healing or repairing 2 joints. And then the 4th option is a face and neck skin rejuvenation, which we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah. The first option covers just about anything and everything much the same as it does with the 3-step healing program. The clearing that Shelley does, she does very often use an octahedron. She does use some of the techniques, but she does have her own little special way of communicating with the assistants that she works with.
Mm-hmm.
It's something which whatever your issue is, just having the clearing is very, very powerful. She's actually worked on me a couple of times. Not that I've got any serious issues, but I've got a couple of problems which are down to past life negative karma.
Mm-hmm.
I was a bad boy in most of my previous lives. This is my 72nd visit. I've been back through most of them. I've been in wars and battles, and I've had so many injuries. Shelley is very, very good at clearing out some of that junk. And the good thing with Shelley is once you're a client and she does a clearing on you, she keeps you on her list. And periodically, be it maybe once a month, once every couple of months, or whenever she gets more upgrades on more information, she actually will actually give you a free upgrade. She'll actually do it while you're sleeping at night. So even though you think, oh, this is just a one-time thing, no, you become a client and she keeps in touch, and she gives you the little upgrades that she gets as time goes along. So that's a great little valuable bundle there on its own. And it covers just about anything. Obviously, if you're not sure, think, well, I've got this and that. Would this clearing be good for me? Just drop an email to Alara. She can forward it, and we can give you the yes, definitely, or whatever.
Right.
9 times out of 10, with this clearing, 9 times out of 10, it is a yes. But there are sometimes exceptions. So if in doubt, ask.
Yeah.
In doubt, ask.
Yeah. And so
the next one is the single joint.
Yeah. So it's pretty
there
straightforward,
is information
right?
Yeah, the single joint, there is information that you did post on your page as to all the procedure, where Shelley contacts you with a questions list, etc., etc. She goes in, she does the clearing, and she does this, and she does all of that is on the page. So the first one is for one joint. If you've got a problem with one elbow or one wrist or one knee or one shoulder, great, go to Shelley, works like a charm. The second or the third option that Shelley has is for 2 joints. Very often you've got problems with both your knees or both your hips or both your elbows, or on one side it's one wrist and one elbow, or one elbow and one shoulder. If you have 2 joints with problems, that's the option that Shelley there has for the 2 joints. And then, of course, the one that all the ladies are starting to love is the rejuvenation. And I mean, even though she didn't do a direct rejuvenation on me, she was working on my jaw, my head area. I had massive lines here on my forehead, and they've gone. I mean,
you look awesome. I don't know if it's being in the Caribbean, living on an island or not, or what.
Yeah, but in the last 12 months since I've met Shelley, and she's been experimenting with some of her stuff on me, it's changed. I've got dark hairs growing out here.
Yeah.
Lines have virtually gone, and I didn't do anything. I just said, sure, if you want to do it while I'm asleep, you go ahead, girl, you do it. And she did.
Yeah. Awesome.
So the face and neck skin rejuvenation, it's powerful stuff. The results, they vary from person to person, but everybody notices something. Some it's like, wow, like, the story she was telling about the lady that went out with her husband to a reunion, and they couldn't believe that this guy had this young girl. It was his wife of many, many years. But she just started to look so much better, smoother and cleaner and fresher. And yeah, it is powerful stuff. The thing I'd like to really leave everybody with is please do take advantage of the free offer. It's just a few pages of reading with a couple of videos and a couple of links. It's powerful, powerful stuff that everybody can start using now. It takes minutes not even minutes, seconds out of your day once you start doing it. And it's so, so incredibly powerful. Also, please do go through the testimonials, my testimonial, Shelley's testimonials. It tells you what other people are saying about the work that we've been doing. And we've both been doing this for many, many, many years. I was doing it 25, 30 years ago. It's only since my second mentor passed that she told me to put it all together and to share the information with other people. And now, of course, I've joined up with Shelley. You know the story. We got some powerful stuff here, and
Awesome.
it's real simple, real easy. It's not rocket science. It's all just ancient knowledge all coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like bringing back that ancient wisdom with what's going on right now and making it applicable or relative to or relevant to what's happening now. Because, you know, especially the 5G and all of the stuff in the food and the vaccine, and I mean, all of that is scary, you know. And so just knowing that that can be changed, you know.
Yes, there is something you can do about it. And all of what you just mentioned and a lot more is all covered within that program.
Yeah.
So
Karen is saying, Lyon helped me with cancer and thyroid, and Shelley helped me with joints. Skyping with both is great. Awesome. Yeah, good. So I don't think Shelley's coming back, unfortunately. So Shelley, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, this has only ever happened once before, and it took her about 20 minutes to be able to get back onto Zoom again. It happened at the very end, so I think we managed to scathe through the last little bit. I'm sure there's a few words that Shelley would love to have shared with the people listening in, but
exactly. But at least we got through most of the show, so that was good.
99%. Yeah.
Exactly. So any last words of wisdom that you'd like to leave us with today, Lyon?
Well, I think I pretty much summed it up. Read through the page that you created for us that goes into more details bit by bit about what this is all about. And read the testimonials and do take advantage of the free offer. It's just a small little file with a little bit of information. Take you 10, 15 minutes to read through it. And then you can start to implement it very easily in your day-to-day life. Change the vibration of the water that you drink, the food that you eat, the air that you breathe. It shows you how to use the laws of attraction to get better results. It's just packed with just simple little easy stuff that some of us take for granted now. But there's other people out there, thousands of people who are where I was 20, 30 years ago. I've had the years, and I've had 3 mentors, so I'm very, very blessed. I'm very, very fortunate. Not everybody gets that opportunity, but now you do have an opportunity for free, the free gift. Start with that. And if you like the free gift, go, okay, oh, hang on a second, there's a plane coming over. If you like the free gift, just imagine what's going to be in this massive file, which is the 3-step program.
Yeah.
Ton of information. So
I love that.
Start with that and then go, yeah, I could do with Shelley working on this or on that because I don't want to do it myself. Or, I'm interested in learning. I want to learn. Or I'm already a practitioner. I want to advance my techniques. It's all there. It's all there.
Awesome. So, thank you. And this was great because, this is a way to both empower you and also, to get support, sometimes we do need the assistance of another healer or a practitioner to deal with our stuff, right? So both options are available to you.
Yeah.
In both of these.
I had 3 mentors, and I thought I was kind of like there. And then I met Shelley, and she's been able to help me in certain ways I couldn't ever imagine. We just keep learning. It never stops. It never stops.
Yeah, exactly. It never stops.
It keeps growing and growing and going. It never stops. And if you're looking to advance, this is your first step to advancing with the 3-step program.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much, everyone, for your questions and for staying on with us and, and learning about, this new program, as well as, like I said, this is all brand new stuff for me, the stem cell therapy, energetic stem cell therapy. Like, what is that? As well as, as Lyon's 3-step program. It's totally brand new, blew me away. Especially that mini healing that we did. It was like, wow. You know, I'm just like looking at it, it's like, wow, and feeling it for myself and experiencing it for myself.
You're awake now.
I am. Yes.
And you're awake now because you started to breathe. You were yawning and you were breathing and you brought yourself back.
Yes.
Now you feel great. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. At the end, I was a little tired.
I can see it.
Yeah, I'm full of life now. I'm glowing. Yeah, go ahead, Caroline. Are you going to unmute yourself, or are you just going to type it in? Oh, okay, go ahead. After a session, I'm assuming she's typing it in. I feel energy, then after a bit, yawning, etc. Are you still at work? I feel anxiety-like symptoms. So that's your question, or is about the anxiety-like symptoms?
Okay. Well,
yeah.
The 7 cards that we used are purely just to bring in a bit of calmness. The cards which we didn't use, which are within that program, the full 27 cards, lots of them go into pulling out negative emotions and replacing with positive. That's very, very powerful. I don't do that during the mini healing because it depends upon whatever your specific ailments are as to which one's going to work for you. So I can't do all 27 cards on a healing because that will take about 45 minutes. So the step 3 of the healing program, all 27 cards together combined in one hit, is going to do you the power of good. But of course, you need to do step 1, which you can do it yourself. Just adjust the template with your information, clear out all the negatives, then go in, do a bit of repairing work, and then go in with the 27 cards. And if you're not sure about it, go for the second option, the package B, which I have, which is with my follow-up consultation, so I can give you some actual guidance on how to do the 3-step healing program, the full healing program on yourself.
So I think also, like, you know, Caroline, you know, the anxiety-like symptoms, they come back because that is an older pattern, right? So in Lyon's 3-step program, you're clearing out all those stuff so that they don't come back.
That's why very, very often you need to do all 3 steps. Just the same as with many things in life. You know, you can think, oh, I think I found the answer to that. And you find it, you use it, you do it, and hey, this is working great. But hang on, there's still something going on over here. And it's to use the expression, peeling away the layers of the onion. But it's very, very true. That's why the 3-step program is 3 steps: documentation, activation, confirmation. You do all 3, you got it all covered. And I mean, it literally covers just about anything and everything you could possibly imagine. And once you've read through the program, take the weekend, okay, let me do the 3 steps now. You're just like gung-ho, you can't wait.
Awesome.
So
good. So hopefully that answers your question, Caroline. Yeah, awesome, good. Cool.
Gotcha.
Yay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Wow. I don't know. No, I don't know how I don't know how it seemed that the time seemed to go by really quickly. You know, it didn't seem, you know, it went by really quickly. It was just like so much energy on this call. It was it was amazing.
I was actually saying to the other day that I would like to try and keep it to like an hour to an hour and a half, including the healing and the questions and answers. And here we are at 2 hours. So I apologize if I go on a little bit because I've done most of the talking here. I know. I hope it's been entertaining. I hope it's been informative for people.
Yes, definitely. I definitely think so. I think Caroline wrote something earlier about you specifically. I'm not sure if you read that, Lyon, at all. No. But she said, thank you for being a man, light being, and speaking these words with conviction and strength as you do. It is received more easily when listened to by a man, spoken by a man. I love our women light workers, and thank you also. And Lyon, thank you for your journey and being on here sharing.
Well, thank you. And just for your information, I'm very much in touch with my feminine side. No, I'm not gay, but I'm very much in touch with my feminine side. And a lot of people probably already know this, but the feminine energy is the most powerful energy currently on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Men, we're just like the worker bees, you know,
Yes.
like the drone bees.
Exactly.
The queen bee, top of the hill, top of the nest. So for men, if they can get in touch and get grounded, well, I mean, sorry about this, but I spend most of my day barefoot, grounded,
Yeah,
in
must
touch
be
with
nice.
myself, in touch with the planet, and in touch with my feminine side. I've only been a woman twice in my 72 incarnations.
Wow.
I have very good memories. I've been back and seen what was going on at those times. And yeah, lots of us, we choose, you know, to predominantly be female on the incarnations or male. And then obviously, once we've graduated planet Earth, and it's time to go on to other more wonderful, beautiful planets that are out there with other physical type bodies, you could do the same thing. And very often you might switch where, okay, well, I did lots of the male stuff on planet Earth. This time I want to do more female stuff, because we always have positive, negative, yin, yang, male, female. It's everywhere. You can't get away from it. It's part of the, it's another fundamental principle of the universe, another fundamental principle of action.
Yeah, you said that there were 64 principles of the universe.
64.
Yeah. I want to know about those 64 principles.
64 is a very powerful number. It's actually used in the name system, which we'll be actually talking about when I come on your show later on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 64 hexagrams in an I Ching. There are 64 codons that make up your DNA. There's even 64 squares on a chessboard. 64 is a very powerful number. And yes, there are 64 fundamental principles, actions of the universe.
Yeah,
And
I'm going to research that.
yeah, good luck. It's going to take you years and years and years, because I'm still chipping away at them.
Or I could call my friend Lyon and say, Lyon, tell me, what are these 64 principles?
Well, actually, when I get round to doing my next book, which is The Meaning and Purpose of Life on Planet Earth, I might start getting into the 64 actions when I'm actually getting to the point of getting that book ready to publish.
Awesome.
All the basics are there. I've just got to put it into book form so that even somebody who's very new to this kind of stuff can read the book and go, well, that's kind of like wild and way out and wacky, but you know what? If you read through the pages and join up the dots, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, because there's some pretty far out stuff there that some of us will just, you know, oh yeah, you know, talking about, you know, other planets and constellations and life on other planets. Planet Earth is a wonderful place, but it's just the beginning.
And it's only one planet. Yes, true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have so much more to talk about in our next conversation, which I think is in March.
Yes.
Yeah, later on in March. And then again, you know, some other time for sure. So thank you. And thank you, Shelley. I'm sorry you're not here with us at the end, but thank you. And thank you, Lyon. Thank you, all of my wonderful listeners and watchers. Thank you for being with us today. And until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, much love and blessings. Bye for now.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now, everyone.